The Cursed Mist PvP Zone Deep Dive. The foggy southwest reaches of Cutlass Keys are a lawless place where the golden greed, curse of La Esperanza's treasure drives fortune hunters to murderous madness. Even the closest of companions are liable to lethally betray one another. Gather Cursed Doubloons and resources, but you'll have to escape before other looters steal your spoils. Get an inside look into the Cursed Mist before it releases on October 15th alongside New World Aeternum. Massive murder balls of allied players. Any new features this complicated is going to have a variety of bugs during playtesting. At least they're occasionally entertaining. Early on, we discovered the hard way that it is possible for PvE players to ranged attack or heal lawless, free-for-all PvP players from outside the zone border. You can imagine the shenanigans that followed. Well, I'm glad they fixed that. We were delighted to find that many of the riskier features worked as well, or better than imagined, often to hilarious results. Trying to collude with other players isn't a bad strategy, but it is horrifyingly easy to accidentally catch friends in AoEs when the fighting gets hectic. I fondly recall lots of laughing, yelling, and sometimes sincere apologies. It's also a bittersweet treat to see the person who just murdered you pop up at a respawn point seconds after you, having perished to your bleed or smolder or whatever. Well, we both lost that one, didn't we? I actually partnered up with someone that way. We rushed back across the border to see if our drop loot was still on the ground. It wasn't. Someone luckier or smarter than us had come across it, but hey, it's the friends we made along the way, right? We want to discourage massive murder balls of allied players. There's always going to be collusion, but we don't want to make it easy. We implemented a new free-for-all system that eliminates all group, company, and faction ties. Even if you are fighting alongside friends, it's very easy to accidentally harm or kill one another. We also implemented new crowd control system that keeps players from lingering in large packs for too long. Lastly, loot chests function like normal resources. Once looted, they're unavailable to all players until they respawn. The unique thrill of PvP. We believe in strength of our PvP combat, not to mention the unique thrill of PvP, and always look for more ways to engage both PvP and PvE players with enticing rewards. This time we wanted to deliver more free-form, always available PvP experiences rather than relying on instances, scheduled events, and matchmaking queues. That desire to bring new forms of gameplay to Aeternum accumulated in a voluntary, free-for-all open-world space. There are light extraction mechanics, extra room for those who prefer to sneak around, and a surplus of loot for every adventurer. Our hope is that the easy access and bountiful spoils tempt even the staunchest of PvE players to take a dip in the pool. It's full of treasure after all. I'm definitely gonna be checking that. That sounds like a freaking awesome time. It's really its own animal, as a high stakes, on the fly experience without strictly structured times or reward caps. Cutlass Keys Cursed Mist Zone is one of the 3 ways to acquire new 700 plus gear and potentially the best option for solo players. There are also some fantastic named items and artifacts that reward the greater risk. Building a new currency with fresh ways to acquire resources, determining how many you'll lose with each death, and designing new rewards to spend them on is always a challenge. It is crucial to the ultimate success of the experience. No matter how fun content is from gameplay standpoint, most players need compelling incentives too. Despite simultaneously updating, improving, and adding to New World, for the release of New World Aeternum, the team's done a great job. Building a gorgeous, unique set of spaces, assembling new free-for-all crowd and population control systems, and building Cutlass Keys' new cursed treasure PvP PvE economy. A revamped Cutlass Keys. There were a few zones in the game we thought could benefit from updates, as well as serve as proving grounds for new types of gameplay. Cutlass Keys' Morningdale, Restless Shores, and arguably even Reekwater. Cutlass Keys pirate theme tied to a wonderfully with our new game mechanics, specifically valuable greed cursed treasure that must be carried away from the zone and cleansed before the curse drives even the fastest friends to paranoia and possibly murder. This gave us the opportunity to add new varieties of lost pirates inspired by the infamous Ottoman corsairs of the Barbary Coast. We also crafted new gorgeous points of interest for exploration, combat, and loot. Beyond the PvP zone, these gold-cursed lost took over the formerly ancient and corrupted parts of the Cutlass Keys, providing a variety of new PvE quests. We knew we had to significantly expand the size of the zone in order to allow hundreds of players to fight without server boundary issues. Our solution was to implement a new population cap system that limits the zone's players count to something fun for both player experience and performance. The future of the Cursed Mist. It's a bit of an experiment, so based on how players engage with the experience, we'll see how it evolves going forward. Right now, players can look forward to new rewards after release. We'll also keep an eye on the Cursed Mist to tune for what players adore most. We hope everyone has as much fun playing the Cursed Mist on October 15th as we did building and playtesting it. Check out our other major updates coming to Season Opportunity alongside New World Aeternum. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in Aeternum. So I'm curious to see how this actually works. Where was it? We knew we had to significantly expand the size of the zone in order to allow hundreds of players to fight without server boundary issues. Our solution was to implement a new population cap system that limits the zone's player count to something fun for both player experience and performance. So is that just the PvP zone, or is that every zone? Because that would essentially be putting a queue time on each zone. I'm really curious to see how this is going to work, because I don't like the wording of it. I mean, our solution was to implement a new population cap system that limits the zone's player count to something fun for both player experience and performance. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'm curious, and I'm a little bit worried on that, because the way that I'm reading it, it says the Cutlass Keys, Morningdale, Restless Shores, and even Reekwater are essentially going to be having these server caps. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments what this means, and with that, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.